Hi, first graders. It's Mrs. Maris here, and today we're going to read a story called Thomas Edison, Inventor. So, this story is nonfiction, but it's a special type of nonfiction called a biography. So, we know a nonfiction story teaches us things and tells us real, true facts. Now, a biography is a type of nonfiction that teaches us about somebody's life. So, Thomas Edison was a person who lived and invented lots of things, and we're going to read this story to find out all about his life. Our essential question is, what inventions do you know about? Read about inventor Thomas Edison. So this is by David A. Adler and illustrated by Sarah Snow. You might notice that the pictures are not like normal nonfiction pictures. These are illustrations that really aren't real, but the information is still true about him. Chapter 1. Young Tom Edison asked lots of questions. When someone told him, "I don't know," Tom had one more question. He asked, "Why don't you know?" He did lots of experiments to find out. Tom watched a goose sit on some eggs. He saw the eggs hatch. He wanted to know what would happen if he sat on eggs. So Tom made a nest. Then he put goose and chicken eggs in the nest. Next, he sat on the eggs and found out. Splat. So you see from the illustration, he cracked them. Young Tom also knew that birds ate worms and birds could fly. What if people ate worms? Tom guessed they would fly too. So he gave a girl a cup of chopped worms and water. The girl drank it and got sick, and she didn't fly. Tom Edison, the boy who asked all those questions and did those unusual experiments, became the man whose inventions changed the world. Tom Edison was born in 1847 in Milan, Ohio. He was the seventh and youngest child of Sam and Nancy Edison. Sam had a lumber mill. Nancy had been a teacher. When Tom had trouble in school, his mother became his teacher at home. Chapter 2. Young Tom did many of his experiments in the cellar of his home. He had lots of jars of chemicals. He wanted to keep people from messing with them. To fix the problem, he had an idea. He wrote poison on each jar. He thought that would keep others away. He was right. Tom needed money to pay for chemicals and other things. As a result, he got a job when he was 12. He sold newspapers and candies on trains. Then at 15, he began to write, print, and sell his own newspaper to travelers. He named it the Grand Trunk Herald. Tom wrote news of people he met on the train. He also wrote how he felt about work. The more to do, he wrote in his newspaper, the more done. Tom liked to keep busy. Tom kept very busy on the train. He even set up his own lab in the baggage car. As Tom got older, he kept doing great things. There were no telephones at this time. Instead, the messages were sent through telegraph wires. They were sent in a code of dots and dashes. Tom learned the code. He got a job sending and reading telegraph messages. He found new ways to use the telegraph. Those were some of his first inventions. Chapter 3. When Tom grew up, he became an inventor. He invented all kinds of things that helped people. At this time, burning gas lights lit homes and streets. Sometimes smoke from the lights filled a room. Sometimes fire from the lights burned a home down. Tom was sure he could make a better light, so he did experiments with electric light. He had lots of ideas. His notes filled hundreds of notebooks. After more than a year of work, Tom did it. He made a light that was safe to use. "The electric light is the light of the future," Tom said, "and it will be my light." Edison's lights were big news. People came from all over to see them. Once they saw the Edison lights, they wanted them in their homes. Tom's lights brightened the world. Tom Edison spent his whole life making great things. The things he made helped people everywhere. And this is a Thomas Edison photo album. So, like I said at the beginning of this story, those illustrations in the book were not real, but these are real pictures of him. So it says Thomas Alva Edison at age 15. So this is him at 15 years old when he was on the train selling his newspapers. And here's another picture of him. It says Edison invented the first machine that could record sounds and play them back. Without this, we might have no music players or movies and TV with sound today. And here's a picture of one of his inventions. It says Edison made this early music player using his own sound machine. Here's a picture of Thomas Edison in his lab in Menlo Park, New Jersey. And here's a picture. It says Edison's light bulb designs look similar to the ones we use today. And the last one says Edison invented the first machine for viewing films. Without this machine, there would be no movies. And that is that. So you guys are going to now work on page 236 and 237 in your Wonders workbook. And I'll tell you bye for now.